Hello. I sent an email to Father Time, but stuff still happened. So what's up? Corporations love AI because it's really good at optimizing numbers while ignoring humanity. And so thanks to a bunch of work from law professor Vina Dubal, we have a research paper about how companies like Uber and Amazon use AI to minimize payouts to workers. Essentially, it works like this. These companies have massive troves of data to train AIs on. And then they can say, hey, AI, what combination of person and wages can we use to have the cheapest payout today? Regardless of the work that's being done, we just want to know who is willing to take the lowest price based on don't worry about it. Is it nearly the end of the month? Well, we've noticed that Mark is usually pretty desperate to get some money around this time. So we'll choose him, but we're gonna pay him lower. Never mind that he just wants to afford some medication. Essentially, these companies can train their AI to figure out your vulnerabilities and exploit them, which is like exactly what they want to do. And now they don't even need to try. So that's cool and dystopian, but there's more! An Uber driver in the UK received several quite threatening HR warnings from the Uber app saying, hey, you did a bad and we're gonna fire you if you keep doing a bad. The driver was like, what the hell? And asked Uber like, what's the problem here? Because it turns out the only thing they did wrong was take a detour to avoid road closures. So he was trying to figure out what he did that was so dang bad that Uber would threaten his livelihood using automated software, but he didn't really get anywhere. However, with the help of his union, he was able to force Uber to talk at all. Basically, they were like, hey, what the hell is going on? And what is the data that you're basing these warnings off of? And Uber was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. And so they're like, cool, see you in court. And then Uber was like, oh, that data. And so like, it's not really a solved problem, but they have more information about what the AI is using to determine whether or not they're worth paying. I just want to take a quick moment to say that, like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of hype about like generative AI, like ChatGPT and all that stuff right now. But AI has been a thing that has been influencing our lives for like over a decade now. Like not like, oh, old AI, like the exact same principles. The only thing that generative AI is doing is just expressing itself differently. AI is like literally an optimization problem. Like that is what AI is doing. And optimizing business numbers is a pretty big market. It's also a lot easier to roll out AI into those business-like scenarios because it doesn't require like a user interface that makes sense. The AI is not trying to make human sense, it's just trying to take a bunch of numbers and produce different numbers. So like when people are talking about like, oh my God, ChatGPT, the AI uprising is upon us, like dog, people live and die by AIs already. Livelihood is chosen and denied by it. Anyway, Montana is trying to ban TikTok somehow. And by trying to, I mean going to. And by going to, I mean it's gonna go to courts. A bill in Montana is making its way to the desk of the governor to be signed that would ban the operation and distribution of TikTok in Montana. The bill is pretty short. It's 3 pages. You can read it. I've linked to it in my newsletter. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It would fine app stores like tens of thousands of dollars for distributing TikTok, and it says that TikTok is not allowed to operate within the state, which that's not how any of this works. TikTok has already been like, that's not how any of this works, and the ACLU is like, also, that's not how law works, dog. Like, to be clear, this is not another banning from government devices. This is anyone in Montana is not allowed to have TikTok. I love it when we have nonsense reactionary excuses to install authoritarian policies. Anyway, again, it's probably gonna go to courts. It's probably gonna go nowhere. But it's movement in this space and it's gonna create waves. Speaking of tech, Google is kind of spooked right now. They really fumbled this whole AI thing, y'all. Google is rushing to make a whole bunch of AI stuff now, including apparently a whole new AI-based search engine, because they spent the past decade being like, we're at the forefront of AI research, and then they had their absolute shit handed to them by ChatGPT. Like, they launched Bard, and it's not good, and now they're just trying to do anything else. And they're like, my market share. Anyway, it reminds me of when Google Plus was just kind of being crammed into everything. I'm sure that internally they're like, hey, if you have a product, put AI into it. Do it! More dead kids. Today's mass shooting comes from Alabama, in which 4 people were murdered and 28 more were injured. The shooting took place at a Sweet 16 birthday party, and one of the dead is the 18-year-old brother of the girl whose birthday party it was. Notably, there have already been more mass shootings since time of writing, and there's honestly and truly nothing else to say at this point. Of the 2 political parties in power in this country, one is going to hem and haw about how terrible this is, and the other one's going to staunchly refuse to take any action whatsoever. This is because both major US political parties honestly and truly do not give a shit shit about you. Quick programming note. I kind of feel bad about saying rapid fire in such close proximity to all of these shootings. And so I'm going to seek a new term for this next section. So, lightning round. Someone threw a smoke bomb at the Prime Minister of Japan. Elon Musk has incorporated an AI company after signing an open letter to the AI industry saying, hey, we should slow down. France's President Macron has signed the retirement age increase into law, which is probably going to go real well for him. He ignored tons and tons of protests and requests from unions to not do that. The Supreme Court has temporarily stopped the changes to abortion pills in mail access while they figure out if they want to ban it or not, because this is a great use of our time. BlackRock's profits were down this quarter, but it doesn't fucking matter because they control $9.1 trillion of assets. The fascist-only social network Parler has been purchased and taken offline, and the new owner is like trying to figure out what the hell to do with a social network that's just fascist Twitter, especially now that Twitter is, you know. A large nuclear reactor in Finland is now operating normally and producing energy, stabilizing energy in the region after Russia has cut off natural gas. In gaming news, Microsoft is playing around with a handheld gaming version of Windows for stuff like the Steam Deck. And finally for today, Matt Mercer from the D&D Critical Role podcast is going to be voicing Ganondorf in the new Zelda game. Neat. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and turn the lights off, baby! My name is Endeavorance. I'll be back on Wednesday. Take care and be well.